Hi, this is Rob. I'm an engineer at WorkOS. I'm going to walk us through how to integrate our new Audit Logs API. We'll be using a demo application called HireOS as an example. First, I'd like to cover the anatomy of an audit log event. Each event contains information relevant to notable actions taken by users in your application. They consist of an action, which describes what happened, a timestamp of when the action occurred, an actor, which represents the person or entity that triggered the action, targets, which consist of any resources that were affected by the action, contextual information such as the location and user agent of the actor, and finally, any additional metadata you see fit. Before we send any audit log events, we need to decide which actions we wish to track. We want to track anytime a user signs in to our application. But what other actions should we track? Here we have a list of candidates with a button that allows us to view details. Given the sensitivity of this personal information, we'll want to track every time a user within our application views this information. We can also delete users, which we'll also want to track. Before we can start making API calls, we'll need to configure these events in the WorkOS dashboard, which I'll do now. We must define the allowed actions, as well as what target resources should be present for those actions. This will prevent us from accidentally omitting important information for these events. I'll start by defining the user signed in event. For target types, we'll use team. We'll also want to create an event for when a user views candidate details. And for target type, we'll use candidate. And then finally, we'll create another event for when a candidate is deleted. And again, for target type, we will use candidate. Now that we've finished the configuration, we can emit these events from our application. Here we have an example of sending an event using the WorkOS Node SDK. It should be noted that all of our SDKs have audit log support. Each event requires an organization ID for the customer that originated the event, as well as the action and targets that were defined earlier. We can go through our example app's sign-in flow to emit this event. Now that we've emitted the user signed-in event, we can navigate back to the WorkOS dashboard, click on the organization that owns this event, and we can view the event that we just emitted from our example application. Let's go ahead and trigger the additional events that we previously configured as well. Going back to our demo application, I'm going to click details on some of these candidates. I'm also going to go ahead and delete a few of them as well. Now if we navigate back to the WorkOS dashboard, we can see the events that we just emitted from our demo application. Now that we successfully emitted a handful of events, I'm going to demonstrate how we can add custom Json schema for the metadata we want to add to our events. When navigating back to our audit logs configuration page, I'll choose to edit one of our events. Here I'm presented with our Json schema editor, where we can add custom Json schema for our metadata objects. I'm going to scroll down, and here I'm going to add some custom Json schema for the actor metadata. Now we're required to pass a role field. That's supposed to be a string, and it has to be either admin or member. I'm going to scroll to the top. I'm going to click Save as New Version. Now you can see we have a new version of this event. In order to actually leverage this event, when we're emitting the event using the Node SDK, we'll have to specify which version we are using. And we'll have to add the new metadata that is required for this version. Now that we have audit log events being ingested, we can share these events with our HireOS customers, leveraging the WorkOS admin portal. When I navigate to the settings page in our demo application, we have a link which should redirect us to the WorkOS admin portal so that we can view audit log events for this organization. Under the hood, this link is going to use the WorkOS API to generate an admin portal link and redirect us. Now we can view the audit log events for this organization within the WorkOS admin portal. We can filter by a variety of fields, and we can create CSV exports. It should be noted that the CSV export feature is also available through the WorkOS API, so the export flow can be embedded into your own application if desired. In this demo, we've covered how to configure audit logs in the WorkOS dashboard, integrate audit logs into our application using the WorkOS API, and finally, how to share audit log events with your customers through the WorkOS admin portal. Please visit the WorkOS docs to see our integration guide and API reference for our new Audit Logs API.